and welcome to Reginaldesq. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the German Tier 6 tank destroyer, the JgPz IV. So, is it any good? Yes, I like it. If you like the previous Tier 5 Stug 3G, then you will probably like this because it's almost an exact copy, just with a bit of a better gun for the higher tier. So it's pretty much the same tank. It feels the same anyway. It has similar speed, similar handling characteristics, similar gun handling. It's almost identical. I think it's a little bit bigger. So let's have a look at some stats here. I better tell you what I've got fitted and my crew so the rest of it makes sense. I have a gun rammer fitted to speed up the loading time. I have binoculars fitted because at lower tiers you just have to do your own spotting because scouts do weird things at this tier. And I have vents fitted just to sort of help everything out a little bit. My crew is a very good crew. They weren't specifically trained for this tank, but they're still pretty good. So the commander has 6th sense and is working on situational awareness. So that's one bad thing about this tank, is that your commander is also your radio operator. So if you want to have situational awareness, you're going to have to train it on your commander, who already has to train 6th sense. So it takes a while to get that. They all have brothers in arms as well. This guy's got snapshot, which is pretty much useless on tank destroyers. I think it only works really on tanks with turrets. Other than that, he's working on concealment. This guy here is also working on concealment and has clutch braking, which is a good one for tank destroyers, helps him turn a bit quicker. And this guy has actually concealment, yay! And is working on adrenaline rush because I couldn't think of anything else to give him. So that will help explain the stats a little bit. So this tank, the gun, 145 penetration with 220 damage. So it's good damage for this tier. 145 pen is kind of average, but it works. Rate of fire is takes 4.38 seconds to load the gun, which is okay. And that's with my gun rammer and everything fitted. Gun depression of 6 degrees isn't great, so you do have to expose your entire hull to get shots over hills. Fortunately, the tank has a fairly low profile, as did the Stug 3G. 15 degrees of elevation is also not very good, so if you're pointing down on a hill trying to aim up isn't good. Gun traverse of 12 degrees to either side isn't very good either, so you do need to move your tracks often when trying to aim, which means that a camouflage net isn't that good because it keeps getting reset. 1.56 seconds my aiming time is down to, which is fantastic. It is one of the best things about this tank. And you combine that aiming time with the accuracy, it's down to 0.32 the dispersion, and it is an accurate gun. So you have a fast aiming accurate gun, which is great. 670 hit points is okay. Hull armor, we have 80 mils in parts at the front, and I will have a look at that a bit later, which is pretty good. You can bounce the odd shot. The speed of 40 kilometers an hour forward is about right. It is fairly mobile, a bit like the Stug was, and 12 in reverse, which isn't great. Track traverse of 40 is pretty good, but I have got track traverse trained on on my driver, so that helps a fair bit. Stationary camouflage at the moment is 41.26. That's pretty good camo without a camouflage net and without having all of my people trained in camouflage. So it will camouflage well if you get all your people trained with camouflage. Currently my view range is 467, but that includes the binoculars. But I can actually do my own spotting, and actually one of the games I show you, we do quite a bit of spotting. Alright, I think that's about all I need to tell you for now. Let's have a quick look at the armor and get into some gameplay. The JgPz IV has interesting, well-designed and pretty good armor. It's just not thick enough is the only problem, but it's not bad. So if we look at these orange areas here, they are 80mm thick and they are sloped, as you can see here, and it's the same, pretty much the same slope. So it's pretty much as if you had one piece of sloping armor for the entire front, which is kind of good. So it's consistent upper and lower, so you kind of know what you can and can't bounce all the time. So you can see here with the sloping, it's actually coming up, well, most tanks are a bit taller than you, so a bit higher than their gun. It's coming up 100 or over 100. Down here it's around about 100, just under. The lower plate is about the same as the upper plate in this angle, just the way it's angled. So one thing I really like about it, it's very consistent. It is worth wiggling this tank if someone's about to shoot at you, because the actual mantlet itself is pretty much impenetrable at tier 6 and maybe even tier 7 with over 200 mils. So by wiggling it, if that red area goes into their crosshairs, they may have to just keep moving and re-aim, and it may cause them to totally miss your tank because you're not very tall. So if you're sort of hulled down and just a gun poking over a hill, they've really only got this to shoot at, and if you keep wiggling it, there's no weak cupolas or anything sticking above. So it's a really good design in that sense. The side, well, the armor's not that thick, but 40mm is enough that most tanks that you meet won't do any automatic penetrations of you. The top armor is weak though, 20mm and 10mm, so artillery, if it hits you, will hurt you. But the side is covered in spaced armor, so these are only thin sheets, only 5mm thick, and they're only covering up about 20mm thick armor. But because spaced armor works so well against HE, when shells land next to you, it doesn't do too much damage to the tank. So in that respect, it's good. The rear of the tank, of course, is as soft as you'd expect it to be, but you will bounce the odd shot, especially if they hit the mantlet. And at long range, it's hard for them to hit what they aim at, and so you do get lucky bounces. And particularly if you angle as you're pulling down, it helps to increase the bounceability of the tank. The map is Prokhorovka. We are in our tier 6 tank destroyer, and it's a tier 7 game, although there are only 3 tier 7s on each team. The T-52 there has his gun raised. Skill! For anybody who watches skills videos, I know what he's doing. Today we're playing on the Hong Kong server because I noticed the skill level is way lower and the amount of gold that gets shot is also way lower. Ordinarily on this map in a TD, I try and get right up the front, about the halfway mark on the map, but I'm back here and a tank has already been spotted, so we need to stop and shoot here. It's a T-3485M, the M dictating that is the premium version of that tank, which has far better armor than the non-premium version and also has better gun handling than the non-premium version, but it's not as fast. It's overpowered. Anyway, I mean, a T-3485 is a great tank anyway. So normally, yeah, when you're scouting for people, you normally, most people in TDs I know stay way too far back on this map, and they can't hit anything that you spot. But on this occasion, they came YOLOing at us, and I'm a bit scared to move forward in case somebody else comes YOLOing and does like a suicide spot. So I'm hanging back a little bit, but now I see this guy going, and I start to think, you know what? These guys aren't very good, so I'm actually going to move out to the right a little bit, see if I can get some height, and see if I can therefore get more shots and shoot across the map a little bit. And we see this KB2, tier 7, and their KB122 shooting off to the left there is their other tier 7. We bounced that shot, unfortunately, but you can see how quick the aiming time is on this tank. It's really good. And here we go, the Nashorn's been spotted. And yes, we get a shot into him. We're a fair way back here, so this gun accuracy is very good. You see how small the tanks are in our gun sight and how small our reticle gets. It's almost unmissable at this range. So yeah, now I decide to do the, I thought I did it earlier, but I decide after that, I decide these guys aren't very good, so I'm going to just move up. But I have actually been spotted, so I turn back down. Now if I was on the Australian server and I did that, I'd already be dead. But anyway, there's another T-3485. I wonder if they were in a platoon together. And he's dead. We get the killing shot there, so that's nice. I decided to just go back up again because somehow I didn't get shot. And yeah, I want to be able to get shots on tanks like that AMX-12 over there, so I'm trying to go for a bit of height this time. I've almost made it to these bushes, but I get spotted again. I decide to start going down the hill, but then I think, oh well, this is the tanks that spotted me. I was well just see if we can shoot them. I missed that shot. I'm going to blame lag on that one. I still get bad lag on this server, but it doesn't make as much difference because the players aren't as good. And we finally get a shot into that T-50-2, and now he's gone. Bit of an overpowered tank, that one. Premium tank. And we finally get one to the AMX-12 as well. He's not quite dead, though. We seem to just keep not quite killing people. And we've got a green indicator there, so it goes in. I decide to move forward a bit in case he's aiming at me, because he doesn't have a good aim time, so I figure if I'm moving, have a bit of a hard time. He's been spotted again. Let's see if we can get another shot into him. It's all green, and it bounces. And this one, I move the mouse before I fire, and it sort of misses. But we actually got spotting damage on him anyway, so it was actually us spotting him. So all that binoculars and crew training stuff did pay off a little bit. I'm staying on the right hand side because I'm thinking there might be some arty right at the back on the right hand side here, so I'm just thinking if I can spot it as I come over the hill, I should be able to get a pretty good shot. But doesn't look like there's anything there. So yeah, the Asian players, there's nothing between Asians and Australians, nothing wrong with Asians. So what I'm saying is that on the Asian servers, a lot of new players, they have a high server population. So in peak times, it's about, I don't know, 15,000. In quiet times, it's about 2,000. Whereas in Australia, in a quiet time, it's about 100. And in a busy time, it's about 1,300 players. So the Australians, they're all experienced players with thousands of games. About 30% of them drive overpowered premiums, and that's all they drive. About 50% of players only fire gold. That's it, nothing else but gold. About 30% will fire gold at anything that has any armor that might possibly stop their shot. And about 10% fire only if they think they can't penetrate. And there's 10% like me who never fire gold. So it's a lot easier for me playing on the Asia server. That was a class 1 in the tank. We also got Confederate. And you can see we shot quite a few tanks. We finished on top for our team for experience, and we did 2,268 damage, which is not too shabby with 917 raw XP. We fired 18 shots, 13 of them hit, 11 of them penetrated. I think it was the KV2 we bounced off. Total damage 2268. 1100 of that was over 300 meters, so the gun is really accurate. We damaged 9 enemies, destroyed 3 of them. We also did 815 spotting damage. Normally tank destroyers are blind, but you know, if you put enough points into it, you can actually make it work. Forget about the profit margin because we got rewards and stuff. I think we made about 35 grand, something like that. The map is Stazianki, I don't know, whatever that says. And it's a tier 7 game. I think there's about 5 tier 7s on the enemy team, so I don't want to go anywhere near the front. Because this thing doesn't have a lot of hit points, and the armor won't stand up against the tier 7. So last game was only a few tier 7s, but this game there's 5. It's a bit of a worry. I want to get shots on the heavy tanks when they come up to this spot, and I haven't played a TV like that before on this map. So I'm trying to find the spot. I'm going to speed this up to like 4 times. Hope it doesn't give you a migraine. Just because I'm trying to find where I can get shots. And it takes me a while to work it out. I'm knocking down trees and stuff to give myself some camo and all that. But I can't see. And then I figure, well, I'm only going to be shooting at heavy tank. You see there I don't have shots on any of them. And I finally work out what you do is you go up to this side of the railway line here, and this, because you're far enough back and heavy tanks don't have very good view range, at least not at tier 6 and tier 7, you can hit them from here. So we get a shot, there we go, 203 damage to that KV2. So yeah, this is a good spot to be. Now we have got a tank out there on the left, on the right, so I was just checking because a lot of the light tanks and mediums will go out to that side of the map on our right there and go up that fight over that hill. We've only got 1 tank there, that Comet, so the enemy team is probably already on the hill spotting our tanks. Unless, of course, there's just nobody smart enough to go up there, because that happens on, especially on this Asia server. When I say smart enough, it's just experienced enough to know that that's a very important spot. We've only got 1 tank out there, so obviously our team isn't that good either. It seems to happen a lot. You get both teams are just total full of noobs. So our Comet is getting hit by Artie, so he's getting spotted. We get another shot on this KV2, so if we can knock this KV2 out, it'll be really good, because I think we're going to get swamped. That Comet's not going to be able to hold him off for very long. 1 tank, they're eventually going to wake up, he's by himself, and they'll just all charge at him, I imagine. No. He's, I think the KV2 is a bit too scared to pop out. Now I left my right cursor. I had my right finger on it, but so my cursor would stay where it was. So I just kind of let it auto fire at him when I saw he popped in there, but it wasn't the KV2, it was this guy, and we missed. It was the VK. I think the KV2's had enough of going in that position. I don't know if I've noticed it, but you can see on the map the comet is moving around a bit. I think he's getting... Yeah, look, there's Super Chaffy's there. Can we hit the Super Chaffy? Ah, he's disappeared. I fire a shot anyway, and that actually looked like it hit the Super Chaffy. I don't know if it did or not. We might see if we hit a Super Chaffy on the end game stats, but I think we might hit it. Someone just shot at me. I don't think I'm spotted though, because I've got 6th sense, so that Chaffy just took a pot shot. So I reckon we hit him. He checked out the angle the hit came from, and he returned fire to that angle, but we weren't there anymore. Some people have mods, I believe, that allow them to aim back at the exact point where the shot came from. I think it's an illegal mod. I think it's illegal, guys. But I think some people have that mod, and they can basically fire exactly along the line you fired at. I mean, I know the game does sort of show you the general direction, but I think the illegal mod is a little bit more direct than that. I think... I'm not saying he has the illegal mod, but I definitely can say that some people do. Now, VK, oh, we might have a tasty shot here. So what I'm being careful of, see that panther's popping up there? I shouldn't have fired because the panther could have spotted me. Luckily, he doesn't have optics. I've got to be careful that when I fire at the VK, no one else is popping over the ridge, because this Super Chaffy will definitely spot me if he's popping the ridge when I fire. So I've got to be careful here. Now that tank destroyer is... that particular tank destroyer, which I'm driving at the moment, is utterly blind. So I know that we can shoot that one for the range it was at without having to worry about it. Yep, I keep checking my map to see if anybody else has been spotted on my right before I fire at this tank. And I saw that the panther, that's why I turned, because I'm seeing him getting spotted. If they decide to come over the ridge, I'm in a lot of trouble. And I don't think it's going to be too long before they work it out. The enemy team is winning, and it's not looking good, folks. Well, the Super Chaffy's over there now, but our tank's getting outflanked, and I can't help him from here. I might be able to get this KV2 though. And for once, my gun is not accurate. At the exact time I need it to be accurate. Artie almost kills it. We would have killed it with that shot, but I guess it can't be super accurate all the time. I can't see anything to shoot at the moment. It's gone a little bit too quiet for my liking. Where are they? Guys, where are you? Where are you? Always worries me when it goes completely quiet, because they might actually be communicating with each other and actually organising themselves, which is a bit of a worry. Here we go. Something on my right. Have I noticed it yet? I just thought I saw red. Yep, panther. He's popping the ridge. Well, that's all right. I don't want to shoot the panther because I think this close it definitely will spot me. I'm just going to let myself do some spotting. So we're spotting this panther like we spotted the KV2. We're spotting all tanks. So we're getting assistance damage here, so that's fine. I'm basically, right now, I'm just being a scout. I couldn't shoot him whilst the panther is there, so that's alright. We're getting plenty of assist damage. It's not exciting gameplay, I'm sorry, but it is showing a valid method that, you know, sometimes you don't want to shoot at tanks. It's only going to get me killed pretty quickly, and it's... I wonder if I can shoot through that door. Uh-oh, I wasn't paying attention. This is a fast tank. I have to shoot it because he's going to proximity spot me anyway. There's a panther. I just bounced off the panther. Everything was green. Everything was green. We hit the green area that we were aiming at, and it didn't die. Anyway, both that IKV and the panther are now dead, and we still got spotting damage. Now, when I said on this server people don't usually shoot gold, the VK did indeed shoot gold at me, but we bounced it so far. So I've come back in this vision just to see if I can do some more spotting. Then I realised, hey, you know what? There's only 4 of us alive. 2 of us are arty. So I'm going to get out of here because they know where I am, and if I've got a chance here to get on the other side of the tracks, I might be able to sneak around. So, because I know everyone that was on this side died. I think they did anyway, and I know there's a KV2 was still alive, but I don't know if it's still around here somewhere or not. I'm going to try and go right around the map, sneak up and maybe get their arty or something like that. We're not going to win the game. This is not... Ooh, KV2. He hasn't got many hit points. He can't see me. And that's where having the investing in view range is really worth it in a TD, because one, you can't rely on anybody to do any spotting on your team when you have experienced teams, and two, you can outspot heavies and stuff, and yeah. Okay, that T-34 will spot me. I think they know where I am now. They know where I am because I killed that KV2. I might have got spotted when I killed it actually, and if I keep driving, I'm just going to get shot in the back. So I have to... I'm going to die here, but I might as well get some hits in before I die. So we've got a VK there. We bounced. Everything was green yet again, but we bounced. I took a shot there from the VK, and I just got hit by the T-34 as well. Not sure about the T-34. I used this tank on the side here to protect me from the T-34, and we finally get that one. Goes in the lower plate. We try and go for another shot, and we get nailed. He's still shooting gold at me. So a class 3, I'm sure it would have been a higher class had we won or got a medal, but we didn't. So we have to live with that result. We did finish on top for our team though, doing the most damage on our team. In fact, we did the second highest damage in the game. The only tank that did more damage was the gold spamming VK on the other team. And we finished up firing 20 shots. We missed a lot of those shots on heavy tanks, but it was long range, so it's to be expected. We did get 11 hits, 8 of those penetrated, which is also to be expected shooting at tier 7 heavies and things like that. Total damage of 1629, which I'm very happy with, considering our tank has 670 hit points. That's pretty good. 1100 was, once again, at 300 meters, so the accuracy is actually very good. Hits received 5, penetrations 2. I think some of those hits were arty though. We did bounce 1 hit though. So you can do the odd bounce. Damage 5, destroyed 1, but here we also did 1780 assistance damage. So combined it was over 3000, just like the game before was over 3000 combined. So I think this would have probably been a class 1 again if we had won the game. Thank you, yes you, for watching this, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing to Reginaldesq and have fun.